Archer Monologues, D. McClung. February 8th, 2017. Time just goes zip right back, right on by. Just boom. And guess what? We're not in the jet today. You don't hear the engines roaring in the background. It's pretty quiet, except for the ringing in my ears. Yeah, ringing in my ears. What do they call that? Tendinitis? It's ringing in the ears is what it's called. And it's ringing. They're ringing this one, my left one, mostly. And, yeah, it's been that way for a long time. And I'm like, oh, hey, Doc, can you fix that, will you? And, doctor said, oh, can't. Oh, I don't know how. Whatever. Okay? And I get emails all the time saying, hey, we've got a cure for that. I'm not sure I believe the emails. Because, hey, wait a minute. If you have a way to stop the ringing in my ears, and you're not a fucking doctor in a fucking doctor place, like, a medical facility, then how do you know how to fix my ringing in my ears? And why would you send me an email, and how do you even know that I have ringing in the ears problem? I mean, how do you know that? You don't know me. I think that's weird. And I don't think I've ever said anything about that on the internet until now. Ever. So when somebody sends me an email, and I don't know them, first place, how'd they get my email? Yeah, right. I know how they got it. And I think it's pretty weird because, just on the side here, Google, because I have Gmail, which is Google Mail. Google snoops in my emails. They read my emails, to see. I'm guessing, electronically or whatever. Don't think there's like a real person, like sitting there saying, "Let's read your emails." Now wait a minute. The NSA, maybe. I'm pretty sure they're snooping in my emails, and I'm pretty sure there might even be a real person reading my emails, particularly the ones that I get from, say, Germany or Iran. Yeah, I've actually had, communicated with people in Iran. And maybe I've had contact in one form or another with people in about 80 countries. 80 countries. Russia, Thailand. And we've all had contact with people in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying. And recently, I guess all the scammers moved to Ghana, because they got a lot of those. So, anyway, I don't understand how this works, but I'm sure it works because it does. Since it does, then obviously it does. So I know that it does. Simply because I observe that it does happen. Like so. Anyway, back to the doctor guy. I'm go to the doctor and I say, Doc, what's with the ringing in my ears thing? It's very annoying because it's really loud sometimes. And sometimes it's lower. So obviously the volume of the ringing goes up and down depending on conditions, like time of day or whether like when I just wake up in the morning and it's very loud. If I take a nap in the afternoon, oh yeah, sometimes I do. Then I wake up and and it's kind of ringy. So that means that when I wake up from sleep, the volume is higher. There's a clue there. All right. So, and someone says, during the course of life, I find out that, so I asked the doc, Doc, why are my ears ringing? And he says, well, you've got some damage in your ear equipment stuff. Like the nerves or something have been damaged. And so the nerve is just screaming at you because ow, pretty much is what it's saying, but on a higher frequency and more of a steady I don't know if ringing is actually the right word. It could be ringing. And yeah, it's going, but I can't reproduce that sound with my throat, voice, vocal cords, but my ear. I could reproduce it mechanically with like feedback on a amplifier and a speaker. So, go to the doctor. Doctor says that's what you get for jumping on the bed. Yeah, that's an old joke, and we won't get into that. Anyhow, so the doctor says you've suffered some damage, and apparently you've been around loud noises, which can do that. I said, well, actually, I've never even been to a rock concert, as it were. I did go and listen to some Beatle imitators who were very good, and they did Beatle songs, and they had amplifiers on the stage, but it wasn't that loud. I've never been to like a rock concert or a heavy metal concert, and I don't play my music on my stereo or whatever really loud. I mean, noise bothers me. Always has. Even before my ears started ringing. Loud noises irritate the hell out of me. It's almost painful to have loud noises. Like when a fire truck goes by with its siren blasting, that just hurts. Almost physically hurts my head, my ears. It's a loud noise, irritating, very irritating. It makes me angry, actually, to the point so if like the United States Nazi bastard police state motherfuckers were actually wanted to torture me for some reason, like to get information about my contacts with, the Pope, or whatever, or my grocery store, or my drug dealer. No, I don't mean the drug dealer like guy on the corner. I mean like the drugstore, like, Ace Drugs, Ace Pharmacy, or whatever the name of the place is. They could just play really loud noises in my head, in my ears. Put me in a room and turn on the music like really, really loud, or run a lawnmower. And riding lawnmowers, and just play that really loud, like really up there around like 100 decimals, and my brain would explode probably, or implode. So they could probably do that towards me. And I would say, yeah, yes, I did it. It'd be like having your teeth pulled, and if they're like totally infected, and you're having your teeth pulled without Novocaine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I confess, Doc. I'd confess to things I didn't even do. Just to get the damn noise to stop, because it hurts my ears, and thus my head. So I just told the Nazi bastard police state motherfuckers a means to get me to confess and talk and say stuff. So now they know that, because they're listening to this. You know they are, because I am a person of interest, a character. Might even say I'm an enemy of the state, because the state is evil, not to mention criminal and barbaric and fucking insane. So, go to the doctor. The doctor says, "Well, you've been around something like what have you done in your life?" Well, I didn't. I'm not in a rock band or a steel band or steel, a heavy metal band. And so I've not been on musical loud noises and amplifiers and shit. And I would think if I was, I would probably wear ear protection, because I'm not an idiot. But then again, I am, because I've done construction projects, like build things and put up drywall and sanded drywall with a sander, an electric sander that makes lots of noises. It's a machine that goes bzzz, and if I did that in a small confined place like a closet for hours, thus causing brain damage. Causing damage to my ears, my equipment in my ears. And why did I do that? Because obviously being in a room with a sander like that, closed up, was obviously irritating to my ears. Why didn't I just put in some earplugs? Because I'm an idiot. That's why. So, and and chainsaws and power saws and jigsaws and drills and loud noises. So apparently, I damaged my ears and my hearing. Well, not my hearing. I hear pretty good. I think my hearing is pretty much excellent in both ears. One a little more than the other. However, in other words, I don't have to wear hearing aids because I can usually hear most normal noises. Particularly if it's a loud noise like a fucking fire engine siren. And then complicate the matter with sinus problems. Sinusitis, sinus things. Sinus problems. Most people in West Virginia sort of suffer from some sinus problems of some sort or another. I'm going to sneeze. Well, I didn't sneeze, so it'll probably sneak up on me and my face will explode right here on the microphone. And you'll hear that. Ew. But if it happens, sorry. If I can avoid it, I will try. Anyway, got the sinus thing going here today for environmental reasons. So I go to the doctor. The doctor says, yeah, you just damaged yourself, and now you got the ringing, and guess what? Nothing I can do about it. All right? Okay. Here's the thing. I'm not a fool. Well, I was when it came to, damage my ears. But probably not as much of a fool as I was then. And now if I'm going to use a loud instrument or tool of some sort, I put on the earmuffs. Because now I've learned my lesson a little too late. About 40 years too late. All right. So, Doc, what do I do? Now, here's the thing. I think I know for a fact that doctors, the medical scientist people, can do all kind of things that are miraculous. I mean, things that probably 100 years ago people would have said, you're out of your mind, you can't do that. And yet we can. Well, the doctors can. Scientists. Scientific. Doctors are like scientists. They do things. It's a scientific thing. Process. They can sew things back on and they work. I mean, they can sew an arm back on or a finger back on or actually a penis. Really. That's a stupid word again. A pecker, whatever. All right? Because of that guy. Remember that guy? Bobbitt? His wife bobbited his pecker and threw it out in the yard or something. And I think it's miraculous that they even found it and even had the opportunity to sew it back on before the guy fucking bled out. But, strange things have happened. So they sewed his pecker back on, and then later he says, hey, it works. I actually can get a hard on and fuck. And so he makes some porn videos with some porn people that make porn videos. And I don't know if I've ever seen one of those, but I have seen it, places, on the internet, porn sites and stuff. Yeah, hey, see Mr. Bobbitt and his sewn back on pecker, and watch him fuck with it. I'd actually like to see that from a scientific perspective. I mean, I don't mean to get aroused, because I don't think I'd get aroused if I knew that the guy that was actually on the video was actually fucking some girl in the mouth or whatever with a dick that was sewed back on. I mean, I would think, I'd be thinking, wow, that's amazing, and you can hardly see the stitches or whatever, I mean, I would be looking at it scientifically, saying, wow, that works. And how does he do that? And I'm thinking maybe Maybe there's something we don't know. Like maybe they implanted a pump, and you can actually pump it up with a pump. And maybe because it's not really going to work naturally. And I can't help but think that maybe Lorraine Bobbitt was a little bit insane. Now, I realized maybe she was driven insane by a man who was, like, abusive. And maybe he liked to fuck her in the ass, and maybe she didn't like that. And maybe she just went crazy and cut off his pecker because she was a fucking lunatic. And the reason I say that is because if you're a woman, now I'm not going to put women down here because women are people, like human beings. Though some of them are, iffy, like some of my ex-wives. But, I'm not naming names here. So anyway, we sew on his dick, and it works. And I'm thinking there's something that we don't know about like that. Like he actually had a pump installed. I said that. I'm being redundant. So anyway, what I want to say is that aside from the fact that I'm talking about my ears ring, the fact is, she's a freaking raving lunatic, and I don't know why. I mean, you don't cut off a man's dick or kill him or shoot him just because he wants to fuck you in the ass. I mean, that was a story I heard. He wanted to fuck her in the ass, and apparently he did fuck her in the ass, and she just didn't like that and got fed up with him fucking her in the ass, so she cut off his dick when he was sleeping. The very thought of that, it makes me get shivers in various places in my body, including, but not limited to, my pecker. Ooh, yuck. Anyway, God, that must have been a bloody mess. Anyhow, even if, I'm sorry, but if you were abused and you just don't cut off a guy's pecker. I'm sorry, you just don't. Now, I guess there could be a situation where it's, could be a necessity. I'm saying if you're like, let's say you've been abducted by a guy and he's a rapist and a disgusting piece of shit, and he takes you somewhere like in the basement and he's like, I'm gonna shove my dick in your mouth, and you're thinking, well, the only way I'm gonna get out of this situation is bite off his dick. And if you can bite off his dick fast, in a hurry, because as soon as he feels teeth being pressure up on his cock, he's gonna grab you by the hair or something and try to prevent you from biting off his dick. And if he's a man that he's stronger than you, then he probably will succeed and prevent you from biting off his dick, if he's lucky. Now, if he's a bastard and he's raping you, then that's kind of like self-defense. Like, your dick is not going to be, no way. You're going to put your dick in my mouth once, and that's going to be the last time, pal, because I'm going to bite your fucking dick off. Just consider the mechanics of doing that. The mouth, the jaws, the teeth have power, and they can bite like apples and shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure that a woman and a guy, probably too, if you stick a cucumber in someone's mouth, a woman, let's say, and you stick a cucumber in a woman's mouth, she could probably bite that whatever's in her mouth, on the inside of her mouth, beyond her teeth. She could probably bite the end of that cucumber right off. That much power in the jaws muscles. I forget the actual pound pressure per square inch of a biting jaw of a human being, but it's pretty high. You can bite a piece of meat off of a steak. So we're not talking about my teeth, because my teeth are dentures on top. So maybe I can't. But anyway. So anyway, they sew it back on. I mean, that's a miracle. So if they can do that, okay, and they can sew a man's arm back on, and he could have pretty much, use of his hand on that arm afterwards. That's pretty cool. And feet and legs and fingers and toes and ears. I've seen ears. I've heard of ears being sewn back on. that have been torn off, ripped off, cut off, whatever. They can even implant teeth. They can put teeth, just implant it right back in your gums, your mouth. And they those look like real teeth. So what I'm saying, and kidneys, and livers, and hearts, and I just can't imagine that. Somebody dies, and their heart is not working anymore. It's just done. It stops and doesn't pump. It doesn't do it. You're dead. The person is dead. They take the heart out of a dead person, mind you. Seriously, out of a dead person, put it in a igloo ice bucket thingy and take it over somewhere else to a place, and then there's a guy, he needs a heart because the heart he's got is like pretty bad, and they cut out his heart, they put another heart in there. I mean, the guy's technically dead, right? Because the heart that he has is bad, not working, and then he dies. I mean, you can't, how do you cut a man's heart out and then put another heart back in that's not pumping and then call that man alive? His heart's not working. The old one or the new one. Like, whoa, wait a minute. I guess they have machines that can do that for you now. Like they have dialysis machines that can take your blood and filter it out. And they can, and anyway, I got a heart pumping machine that pretends to be, it's a machine that will act as a heart and keep your body functioning and your blood flowing. Hopefully not out through the holes that they cut in your body that they made to take the old one out and put the new one in. And then they put it in, and they connect it all up properly, and it takes a long time, I guess, hours and hours and hours. I'm like thinking, wow, that's it. Wow. Amazing. Wow. They can do that? I mean, I could see like maybe a finger, because there's like, how many connections do you need there? But anyway, what? I'm thinking bionic man here, actually. But anyway, they do it, and then the finger's back on, the arm's back on, and it works a little bit, kind of. Maybe maybe after some therapy, it works pretty good. And it doesn't really hurt much, maybe. I don't know. So, and then there's bionic arms and stuff. That's something else again. But anyway. So, they can do that. And then they, zap, 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 and the heart starts working. The one that was dead for like a while, like maybe even a couple hours or something. It's dead. It's in a fucking icebox. Take it. I'm a dead guy. By the way, if you can kickstart a heart in another new body thing and kickstart it and make it start working, why didn't you kickstart it in the guy that died in the first place? Because maybe he would have liked to have kept his heart and have it working. Oh, I guess maybe it didn't work in his case. Maybe he was like really seriously injured, like, his head was cut off in an accident, let's say. I don't mean like in the French with the guillotine and that. I don't mean that. But, that sounds like a story plot. Like, okay, we got a guy, and it's in France, and the guillotine, and they lop off the guy's head, and the doctor's standing by and says, you know what, I think he's dead. And then he takes the body, and he takes the head, and takes it to the lab, and he sews it back on, and then the guy's like, jump start, clear, and then the criminal that had his head lopped off is back alive again with his head and everything reattached. A few glitches might occur. Warning label on that operation. A few glitches might occur, and the man might be like totally insane and brain dead, or whatever. So, I wonder if that's what happened to George Bush. I wonder if he had a head transplant from a fucking baboon. Anyway, so if they can do all that, and face transplants, mind you, I have seen cases of where they actually transplanted someone, a face from another person to that person. I'm assuming the person donated the face was dead and didn't need the face anymore. And someone was like severely damaged in their face, and it was like really ugly and gross and shit. And they said, we'll just take that off and put one over here from this handsome guy who's dead, who didn't have his face damaged in his death because he was like shot, firing squad or whatever. Not in the face. So anyway, they could do all that. So, right? And remarkably, I learned not too long ago about 8 months ago that you could actually cut a little 1 inch less hole, 4 little holes in your abdomen, and cut them like about 4-inch holes, four 1-inch holes in your body at various places around your abdomen, and go in there with a camera and some stuff and some pinchers and cutters and tweezers and shit, and just scarf up your appendix and scarf up your gallbladder. Well, I've still got my appendix, but my gallbladder, and they just suck it or take it right out through those little holes, and then take the cameras out and so forth, and put a little Band-Aid on those holes, and then you heal up on the outside, and you don't have a gallbladder anymore. And it's like, wow, they can do that. And remarkably enough, I can live without a gallbladder. The quality of life might be a little iffy there for a while, but hey, I'm alive and my stomach doesn't hurt. Unless I eat something I shouldn't. Like half an onion before I go to bed. I've learned, don't do that. Well, not that I ever did, but I'm just saying. I think it's midnight and I'm going to go to bed now. And, maybe, I think I like a little salad. And I chop up some onion and lettuce and things. Eat it with some really spicy salad dressing. Yeah, I'm going to be awake all night. And it's going to be like really ugly. So I've learned, no, don't do that. Don't do that, D. If you want to eat a salad at 2 in the afternoon or 6 o'clock in the evening, yeah, maybe. Iffy. But just watch it. Be careful on the onion intake. So if they can do all that stuff, which is to me is miraculous, pretty much like a computer is miraculous. I mean, how does it do that? How does a TV work, for example? How does a telephone work? Let's just say on Skype. Well, no, let's talk about telephone. I got a landline, and I pick up the phone, and someone is calling me from Germany, and I'm listening to them talk, and they're listening to me talk. It's like real time. I mean, I'm not talking about like a 12-hour delay. I'm talking about instantly. I can hear them talk instantly, almost. I'm sure it's like a nanosecond later after they've said it that I hear it, but that's just a miracle. No, it's more like magic. It's like, how do you do that? How does that work? I don't understand. And then like TV, and like used to in the old days, not too long ago, you could actually turn on your TV and turn on your local TV channel, like channel 12, which is like 20 miles from me, and pick it up with an antenna. The signal with an antenna comes on my TV. And like there on my screen on my TV is I'm watching channel 12 news live. There it is. Like, huh? How does that happen? How does that work? How did you get that voice to go through the air and like land right there in my TV? It's amazing. I don't think I'd call that. That's not a miracle. That's just magic. That's witchcraft. But, how many people in this world know how to make a television set? And how to make a television studio where they actually can be there in front of a camera, and the camera like sends that signal through the air, and it like lands on my TV, and maybe millions of other TVs around the area. Like, how did that work? Now you could explain that to me. I could talk. Okay, let's find a scientist who makes televisions, like the first television. Whoa. Can you imagine being that smart that you could actually create something like a television for the first time ever? Like, wow, that's amazing. That truly is fucking amazing. Let's transplant a TV. You're transplanting a signal of what's going on in an event in front of a camera in Channel 12 Studios, and then poof, air waving it through the air like 20 miles through the air, no matter what the weather, pretty much, and then bang, it lands in my television set. I don't understand how that works. That's beyond my comprehension. And you can explain that to me scientifically, saying the thingies and the atoms of the sound wave thingies travel through the air, and you can do little diagrams. And that's just the old TVs had transistors, so they're like, this transistor, it takes this airwave radio signally electronic thingy, whatever. Puts it in there, jumps and translates it into, and puts a picture on your screen, like with pixels. Well, pixels in a monitor now, but what do they call it back when, like 1955, when they just started making televisions? It's magic. It truly is magic. And they can transfer your kidney. I need a kidney. Okay, I'll give you a kidney. You only need one. Well, I was born with two. I kind of like that number. Nope, we can only give you one. And they do. And they give you one, and you take some anti-rejection medicines, and you live. And you just go around living because, like, oh, I get kidneys, and they work. It's not mine to get out of a dead guy. Or even maybe a donor that was still alive. Because you only need one to live, I guess. That's just weird. I think that's magic. So, back to my ear thing. I got tendinitis. Tendinitis? You know what I'm talking about. Ear ringing thing. And they're telling me, I can't fix that. Like I said, the volume goes up and down because there are times when I get up and then it's ringing loud and I can hear it, and it's very annoying and distracting. And the only way you're going to deal with that is just to ignore it and pretend like it's not there, and it'll go away, and you just won't hear it. It'll be there, but you won't hear it in your head. You won't be conscious of hearing it. Whoa. Wow. So now the ear doctors are saying, you can learn to control the sounds in your head. And I'm not talking about, the voice of Jesus, which is a whole different ball game. If you're hearing Jesus, you got bigger problems than tendinitis, whatever. You got a mental issue there, pal. And I'm sorry, there are a lot of people in the world today, even, which is really strange. 21st century and all that. I hear voices. What are the voices telling you? Well, it's Jesus talking to me. Yeah, right. Off to the loony bin with you people. Sorry. That's just crazy. That's not even magic. That's just insanity. Let's call that delusional. And delusional, that's a symptom and a condition that goes with insanity. So, pretty much labels everybody, puts everybody that's like, say, a Christian into that box. Well, I guess most Christians don't really hear Jesus talking to them or God talking to them. Some loony-toony, crazy, fanatical people, maybe, like, why did you kill, your kids? God told me to. Really? I'm pretty sure he didn't. For various reasons. One, because ain't no God. And that's not a secret, is it? And two, why would God tell you to kill your children? I mean, what? No, that's just insane. And by the way, no excuse. Not guilty by way of insanity. No, you did it, so you are guilty. We're just not going to put you in prison for the rest of your life for doing it, because we figure you're brain damaged and you can't be 100% responsible for your actions, even though maybe you could have been. Really, seriously. So anyway, no cure. I'm like, I go to the doctor, doctor, ear doctor person, you're an expert on ears and stuff, and you work on them and you fix them. What do you do if you don't fix ringing in the ears? I mean, what else is there to do? Well, we diagnose that there is ear damage or inner ear damage, nerve damage, and then we maybe give you a hearing aid so you can hear better. But, well, my hearing, like I said, is pretty good. I don't need a hearing aid. I need the damn ringing to stop. Damn it. Turn the volume down at least. See, that's the thing, because sometimes when I'm just going about my business, I don't really notice my ears ringing because I've tuned it out or turned it off or down or something. And I'm like, if I can do that with just my brain, just like I'm going to consciously just turn down that volume a little bit. A lot, actually. And then go about my business. It's like, oh, my ears aren't ringing until somebody mentions it or I think about it. And then, oh, well, there it is again. So why don't they put something in my head? Like, I think they're experimenting with things, that implants they can put in your head that'll help you hear. Maybe perhaps help cut down on the ringing volume a little bit. Cut it down. Nobody offered me that, by the way. And would I do it? Maybe. Maybe that's the magic I'm not entitled to because it's experimental and your insurance won't pay for it. And it may or may not work. And besides that, if we put it in your head, like implant it behind your ear, maybe that will be a problem somehow. Like you might hear the thing in your head turning down the volume. So the machine or device they put in your head might actually make more noise than the ringing. I don't know. Speculating, have no idea. So I go to the doctor and I say, okay, doc, fix this. And I've done that on other things. Like, hey, doc, my stomach hurts like hell. It's the stomach ache from fucking hell. It's killing me. It's dying. I'm just driving me crazy. Doctor said, it's all right. We can fix that. Yeah? Really? Yep, we're going to do it right now. Okay, lay down, close your eyes, go to sleep. And they give you something to make you go to sleep. Which is also magic in my mind. So then they go in and they fix stuff. And they did. So I don't have a gallbladder anymore. Theoretically. I'm taking the doctor's word for it because I'm assuming that there may be some like x-rays or something to be able to prove that. I'm not going to go to the hospital and have them take an x-ray of my torso or my abdomen to see if there's an appendix there or not. Would be interesting though, and like an ultrasound or something. Just show me it's gone. And so I'm just going to take the doctor's word for it because stomach ache hurts and there's a place in my abdomen that like feels a little bit empty, and everything else kind of moved around and took up the space, I guess. All right, so they did that. So I go to the doctor and say, okay, doc, listen here. Ringing, it's annoying, driving me crazy. I even had a questionnaire from an ear doctor when I had my ears examined that one time, which I was misled because I was told that he could actually help me with that. But when I went, and he said, I can't help you with that. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was told that you could. You were misled. Well, I was probably just lied to, right? Right. Anyway, it gives me a questionnaire which has nothing to do with me. It's like one of the questions I remember on the test, on the survey thing that he gave me was like, do you have suicidal tendencies? Do you feel like you want to kill yourself because of your ringing in your ears? I assume it meant because of my ringing in my ears. It could have been something else. So the question was just, do you have desire to kill yourself or whatever? Some paraphrasing. And I said, no. Why would I kill myself? Why would I even think about it? Well, because the ringing in your ears is so bad, the only way you can get away from the ringing in your ears is to kill yourself. Maybe no. Why? No, I wouldn't do that. Nope. Because I'm going to the doctor, and the doctor knows how to fix that. Which he apparently doesn't. So I'm like, what the fuck? And I tell the doctor, well, you can do all... Doctors generally can like do these magical things, and like, why can't you work some magic and make my ears stop ringing? We don't know how to do that. Oh, come on. 21st century, and you can transplant a face, and you can't figure out how to tone down the ringing in my fucking ear. That's just not magic at all. That's anti-magic. That's like really disappointing, and I think, what the fuck? So I go to the doctor about things like that and other things, and I think, Doc, hey, you know what? This is not good. It hurts. It's bothering me. It's very bad. On a 1 to 10 scale, 1 to 10. I don't know, 11. In the case of my gallbladder pain from my stomach, in my stomach. And I was like, oh, it's 11. Definitely 11. More like 12. Do something. And they did, and everything's cool. Sort of. Almost. Kind of. Cool. So anyway, what I'm saying is, doctors should know how to do things. I mean, you know, at least they know better than to, like, put leeches on you and bleed you to death. They know better than that now. Though I hear in some medical procedures a leech is used. So, hey, what do I know? So that's the story of the ear ringing and the fact that nobody seems to know how to do that. Except I keep getting emails telling me, yeah, definitely this doctor, it's not really a doctor probably, said, yeah, I can help you with that. And I have a tendency to want to look at that out of curiosity. Can you fix my ringing? Really? Over the internet? Amazing. And not even have to actually physically look into my ear and do things. Just over the internet. Amazing. Maybe they have some kind of drug you can order over the internet. I don't know. Anyway, if there's a machine that they can, attach, maybe I can order that machine and just implant it behind my ear myself. Yeah, right. No, I don't think so. Anyhow. All right, so that's the story of the ringing in the ears and the fact that there's no cure for that, technically. So, kind of weird. But anyway, Google's looking in my emails and saying, he's talking about, ringing in his ears. We'll send him a bunch of bullshit emails and advertisements based on that concept. Yeah, you snooped in my emails, Gmail. You snooped in my emails. That's private. You're not supposed to read, like the post office, the snail mail. The rule is you're a postal worker. You're not allowed to look in someone's mail. That's a federal crime. And yet the post office does it all the time. It's against the law, but they do it. It's not the only thing they do that's against the law. Obviously. I can name a few things. Like the NSA spying on me. And the ability to turn on my webcam remotely and see what I'm doing in front of my computer or in the room, perhaps. Wow. That's magic. But it's also a crime, you bastards. So, pretty sure I have the right to defend myself against people who might criminalize me. I mean, commit crimes against me, like snoop in my fucking email. And you can't turn that off, apparently. I suppose some IT guy somewhere knows how to do that, but I don't know how to do it. Why can't I get that information and turn off these bastards and make them, prevent them from spying on me? Which is a crime, as I said before. That's interesting about the NSA and the government in general. They can spy on us even though it's a crime. And the courts have ruled you can't do that, it's a crime. And still they keep doing it. See, I have to get the political aspect in here before my time runs out in about 2.5 minutes. Seriously, people. NSA spying, it's against the law. They're still doing it. I don't understand. What's wrong with you people? It's against the law. The NSA is committing a crime. Lots of times, like millions and millions of times a day. On and on and on. And nobody's doing anything about that. How could that happen? How could nobody do anything about these bastards, these criminals doing a crime? I don't get it. And yet, if I talk to somebody that the government says, you can't talk to that person, and I do, then they put me in jail for 35 years and call me a felon. Oh, yeah, right. Which is not a crime, by the way. I can talk to anybody I want. It's a free country. In theory. So, okay, I'm going to go now. I'll talk more about the NSA at some other time. But the ringing in the ear thing, I've pretty well covered that. Don't know. If you are listening to this and you think, hey, I know how to help you with that, and you have an idea doesn't require me cutting off my head or shoving ice picks in my ear, which would probably make the ringing really bad. Worse, ever. And, leave a comment or contact me. My emails are available. You can contact me. There are ways to contact me are public, and you know how to do that. All right, so I'll talk to you later. And my heater just came on. Unbelievable. It's like freaking warm in here. Oh, it's me getting ready to take off in my jet. Boom. All right, talk to you later. D. McClung, Archer Monologues. Share this, by the way, with your friends.